All right. What is going on, guys, gals, aliens, degenerate crypto enthusiasts? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystems. So I was just laughing. I was feeling just funny and goofy yesterday, I guess, but I was just laughing my butt off seeing Jerome Powell and President Donald Trump in hard hats at the Federal Reserve, and the look on Jerome Powell's face was just hilarious. I could not stop laughing because right when I pulled up this video, I knew Trump was on his way. He was headed to the Federal Reserve to check out this new construction project that the Federal Reserve is doing, and it's, rumored to be valued at, the budget was going to be $4 billion or something like that to do this build. And originally it was like $1 billion, and then it went up to $3 billion, and then I guess it ends up being $4 billion. So Trump was like, I got to go. I got to look at this. I got to review this and see if this is over budget, because if anyone would have spent that much money on this budget for this building, they would have been fired. So, but the fact that Trump is basically being Don Corleone right now, like he's basically being a mob boss, and he's like, I'm gonna go there and make them an offer we can't refuse. It was like a freaking it was like an episode of The Office. I was dying laughing. I was like, this is hilarious. I was like, this is Jerome Powell's worst nightmare. I bet when he went home, he had like 7 scotches and just rolled one up, and he was like, I need to rethink my life because that was probably super embarrassing. But but they both went back and forth. They were kind of combating each other. Trump pulled out a paper and was trying to get one on Jerome Powell and say, hey, well, this, where's this budget, this line of this building? And he was like, hey, like that building was done, some odd years ago, so I don't know where this number's coming from. So it's almost like they were both trying to get each other on camera, in front of the media, and in front of the public. But I just don't know. I feel like, if anything, I think Trump won that battle. Because I think for the first time ever, because apparently it was the first time in 20 years that a president visited the Fed or even did anything like this of a spectacle with the Federal Reserve. It's always been very, very separate, not as much of influence in terms of like what the type of pressure the Trump administration is having on the Fed right now because of the nature of the interest rates. They want the interest rates to be lower. Across the world and all other central banks, the rates have been lowered. They're at like 1%, 2% kind of average. And we're still at 4.2% on the federal funding rate. So Trump wants it at like 2.5, 3%. So that means getting 100 basis point cut at least over the next 6 months. And you have to think about how the nature of these FOMC meetings are coming up. We have one on the 31st this month. And look at how much pressure is being put on the Fed right now. The percentage and prediction of if we're going to get a cut this month might actually change. And that will send the markets front running into basically risk on season. Basically printer money go burr. The big beautiful bill's been passed, which means the debt ceiling is now raised. We can just have more debt, and the dollar is slowly losing its value. So where's all that money going, baby? It's going into crypto. But we want to get into the nature of the title of the live stream today, is that we predicted this Bitcoin move exactly as predicted. We went back into the purple box. So I said, we're probably going to get a little bit of volatility here. We're going to get some push-ups, some fake outs, but it's more likely that we're going to see the gap get filled. And so we did this, and I was calling it a cheeky cat. It's a cheeky cat. It's a cheeky cat pattern. They're a lot of the times not nice. I said they claw your eyes out. So here's the cheeky cat, and we're going right back into the purple box zone. exactly what I said yesterday. I gave you the bull case scenario. I said, look, we could just fly and say, screw the gap and just keep going and hit 128,000 and break through the previous resistance at 123. But it's hot. It's more likely because of the nature of just the momentum that we've seen since 104 right here. This is, we've been still crushing up. We went sideways and then we just pushed up another 20%, like we were talking about before, where in these bull markets, we'll get a 20%, average 13, 20% move. We'll go sideways a little bit. The market cools off and kind of redistributes the coins around. Then we have another move that's 13, 20% average move to the upside. And now we're cooling off. We're cooling off a little bit. This is totally normal. And then you can see that once we cool off and find a bottom, which I think a good price target would be at 115. You can see we're already consolidating down right now. We're almost at 115. We're at 115,146. This is the CME chart, so it's a little bit obviously it's going to be the futures price. So we've already oh man, yeah. So we look at this wick. We already dropped down right in that spot, like basically almost touching it. We almost basically filling the gap, but we got a little bit more to go. And if it continues to go down, this is a nice spot. So we told you guys yesterday that if we do bounce off of here, this would be the spot, and then that's where liquidity is going to get scooped up, and then we'll just hit to the next level. We'll just basically hit this inflection point of breaking that previous resistance, and we'll just go up that next 13%. It's not going to look like a giant green candle because you can see here, we had a little bit, we had a pull of a flag pennant, then we had a bull pennant right here, went up again, and it just looks good though. This is healthy. Like, this is great because now any altcoins that you were wanting to get into or trade right now are down and hit some resistance. So we went down just a little bit, with you got like 10%, 10% to 15% on average. A lot of the altcoins took a bit of a dip, and you can see it by the heat map here. You can see the heat map. We had XRP go down 7%. XRP definitely hit some resistance. It hit that trend line that we were talking about on XRP, and we said just expect some selling pressure right there until we get to the next spot where we can get some more movements with altcoins, especially with the dominance of Ethereum right now. We're seeing that Ethereum is becoming a better hold than even just the altcoins under it. If Ethereum's dominance and the ETH BTC ratio is looking as good as it has recently, this is showing me strength to just be like, man, I should just be getting ETH right now. And ETH is coming into a different market structure with the level of institutional adoption with staking, the ETFs, all that stuff. It's crazy. So it just makes sense now to be more bullish on ETH. And then my strategy and my thesis is that I'm bullish ETH, but I'm also bullish like the ETH meme coins, specific ones. And those could be different for you. You might like MOG or SPX 6900 or Shiba Inu. You could be on the dog. You have all the different dogs that you're into. Floki. So for me, I like ticker Bitcoins. Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10 Inu. I love the OG Pepe. I like Wojak, but I respect the nature of the ETH liquidity. And these fundamental kind of like OG legacy coins that are about 2.5 years, almost 3 years old, these are the things that I think have a chance to outperform Ethereum, because Ethereum, in terms of where it could be going against Bitcoin, is in reference to the ETH BTC ratio that we've been eyeing and studying this chart and learning how to use this chart to be a representation of when we see alts and when we would want to be in Ethereum, and also have a little bit of speculation and risk into the native assets that are on Ethereum, which are most popular, the meme coins. And it's not just the meme coins, it's also the protocols, the dApps, the legacy, DeFi protocols like Compound and Aave and MakerDAO and, just all that stuff. Those things and the DEX tokens like Sushi and Uni and just that this is still going to be things that we should be paying attention to. We in crypto are like memory of a goldfish, and also we're very impatient and do not know how to look at the market as a macro growing ecosystem, and that these things are still only 4 years, 5 years old. Some of these tokens, like they're very new, especially all the DeFi stuff. So we have to understand this and know that, like, you're almost better off, in my opinion, studying the old coins and how they moved in bull markets and bear markets and not really risk too much of the biscuit on something like, say, Pump Fund. Because look at what happens when you get into the, these ICO prices and all this stuff, this ICO crap. You ain't getting what the insider of whoever is messing with Pump Fund. No, like, what happened is that, look, they got a price that looked like about like that. Like, this is where the angel investors and all the early investors that got in before the actual this price, and then the people that are buying, whenever they see it on the chart or they say, oh, that's the pump token, oh my God. And then they buy it here. And then it goes down like this. Nice little 66% dip. And then you're going to expect it to go to 4 billion, but off of what? From what I'm learning now is that the airdrop is there's no time frame of when this airdrop is supposed to be happening to go to these, the streamers or the coin creators, the people that have, a certain amount of distribution. And it just all seems real shady, and I don't like it. I don't like this type of action in the market or these types of ICOs, because the characters that are behind it, I don't know. This is why I like Pepe. This is why I just like going. I just go back to the basics. I look at Pepe and I go, damn, that's just an open chart that all of us as crypto people could rally behind. And there's no Elon behind it. There's no person that is saying Jew mode on the timeline and saying all of these cryptic weird stuff to make people uncomfortable and also be just like, what's actually happening here? Like, I can just buy a freaking frog that literally, like, all of the exchanges in the world right now are supporting, and also big whales. And it's, oh, by the way, too, tokenomics are way better. You can actually look at the tokenomics and know that the circulating supply, look, 420 trillion Pepe, max supply, 420 trillion Pepe, and oh, guess what? All of that supply is out in the market. All of it. And there's no unlocks, there's no there's none of this. Ripple co-founder dumps XRP at the top, most likely, and that's what most of these founders and these people will do. They don't care about you. The meme coin communities actually probably care more about you if they burn the supply, they have incentives, they raid your live streams or they raid your stuff and repost and make cool memes and just do stuff without having to have this, people like this. Basically big bankers that are more likely to just get a better entry than you. 100%. But when you have something like this, you get all kinds of entries. Like Ticker Bitcoin. That's why I love Ticker Bitcoin. It's you get the price you deserve because it's all up to you to figure out where there's pain and where there's euphoria. And in every chart, there is those points. And can it survive the pain? Can it survive the euphoria? Can it? Can your coin weave and bob like this, or does it just go like this? Like a lot of the new launches or pump tokens or whatever it may be, it just goes bop, 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 boom, and then it just goes like this. And then, you're never going to see it go up again unless you have some community takeover, which is a bunch of load of malarkey to begin with anyway, because it's just basically the cabal shifting over to run that up, and then it's only got a small amount of time for the run up, and then that's it. It's gone. You got to be able to find something that's multi-cycle, and it's just that's just how it is. How are you going to survive if you are going to be in the meme economy? You have to know what's going to actually survive into the next cycles and actually survive the onslaught of the inevitable bear markets and consolidations and sell-offs. Because you'll see if your coin is worth holding whenever BTC goes down 15% or things get hit, hard, and then we'll see who's the strongest. That's always the big test. And really, right now, and then I really agree with Benjamin Cohen. Benjamin Cohen, you watch his video about market dominance and Bitcoin dominance, and the difference between a more Bitcoin dominant market and also a ETH dominant market, where we're actually seeing ETH BTC, starting to ratio back up. We're also starting to see the ETH dominance start to get back up into these areas. And we've mentioned whenever we've had market dominance of ETH up above 12, 13% is when we've seen the altcoins give some more some more momentum. But what we're seeing now is actually that, according to Benjamin Cohen, the alts as a whole have actually been bleeding into Ethereum. So because Ethereum is getting more market dominance, and we're actually seeing this ETH BTC ratio really start to break out, and we're going to start seeing these Fibonacci extension levels hit the 618, and then we'll get a little rejection probably off there, and then we'll just hit right up to the 786. And then once we're in this ratio for the BTC ETH ratio in the market, we are going to see something really interesting happening with Ethereum. I think this is when we're going to really see Ethereum break new all-time highs and get into price discovery. And we don't know what will happen with the alts. This is the thing. We don't know. We're assuming that, certain coins or whatever it is, or all the whole, altcoin market is going to go up. We don't know. Our market right now, over the past 3 years, has not experienced an Ethereum all-time high. We haven't experienced it. So anything can happen. For all we know, alts could just fully bleed into ETH, and ETH can go to $15,000. And money starts flowing into ETH like that, like crazy. What can also happen is that ETH can go between 8 to 10K, and Pepe and SHIB and any kind of strong Ethereum, liquidity-backed coin could go up thousands of %. Because we've seen these coins go up 800% with no ETH all-time high. So what is the possibilities here? It's massive. I'm willing to take the risk to hold some of this stuff in my portfolio, because if you saw what happened with something like Doge, or with something like SHIB, or with something as even simple as the Axie Infinity crypto gaming bull run of some of those tokens going up thousands of %, it can get crazy. And that's how you end up outperforming the market, or whatever is like the main coin, the ETH or BTC or whatever it may be. You are positioned so well that, yeah, yeah, Andrew, that's funny. That's funny. I gotta pull that. That's a funny comment. He said, He's like, greatest mysteries in crypto. Who is Satoshi? And ETH can't break 4K. I know. It's just like, but no, it's coming, guys. It's coming. I believe in it. I really believe in it. Like, and why I believe in it so much is because I started to see and realize this ETH BTC ratio, I think, truly found a bottom for this cycle. Benjamin Cohen thinks the same thing. I was, really like his TA. I've almost find that the more I watch his videos, I kind of have a similar TA look, but like he really is great at analyzing the difference between being in altcoins and being in a more dominant Bitcoin market. And because he's from the 2017 cycle, which I've mentioned, that the people that came in 2021 only got to experience we got to experience DeFi summer. Okay, so we did get that. We got DeFi summer. And then we got like the protocols and the different exchanges and the BlockFis and all that stuff. Things started to, get that more retail, attention and adoption. But then we also experienced massive rug pulls at the same time. We experienced a massive, massive rug pull, and we all kind of got our knees chopped out. Boom, we got hit. But we all had to experience this, but what's interesting is that the people that came from the 2017 cycle were in 2021 cycle, and they had some experience, and some of those people were able to kind of see what was happening and go, wait a second, this kind of like, I remember this looks familiar, and they were able to make their moves accordingly and kind of spot the, almost spot the bear market a little bit. But this is what's great is that now that we've came out of 2021, if you're someone who just like me who came into 2021, we're now in 2025 and we're getting into we're in a brand new cycle. We're in a new market structure. But we get to take what we learned from the past 3-4 years and apply it to the next 10 years. That's how I think. So I'm so glad that I got into crypto when I did, because I was able to like get burned, make good trades, find out about these coins, hold certain things, not hold stuff, then narrow it down to like exactly what I want to do and how I want to operate going into the next 10 years of this crypto journey. And so, but I think ETH, looking at this macro perspective, ETH is destined to break a new all-time high, but it just wasn't going to be with the catalyst of retail. It was going to be through the catalyst of the institutions wanting sweet ETH yield, liquid staking. The market's mature now. There's way more options to be able to generate yield with Bitcoin MLK. Yes, I can see this. What's going on? But yeah, the ETH, this is how ETH breaks all-time highs. Institutional grade money going in. That's how it does it. But yes, Bitcoin MLK, we got the Sprotos in the house. Yes, I can see your comment. What's going on? I'm all coffee, no food yet. Let's see how many people we have watching across all platforms. Hopefully the X algorithm is pumping. Did you buy the Sproto you have as the PFP? Just curious. No, I had this conversation with the people in the Telegram, and I was like, normally I don't put a profile picture on of something that I don't actually own, because all of the profile pictures I've ever put up that are NFTs is something that was either gifted to me, like for instance, Headband sent me a Harry Pepe, but that's just a derivative of the Sprotos. But this particular Sproto is for sale, and I do want to buy it. This is the one that I want to actually buy. It's like a really clean, I love that how clean it is, like, because there's some Sprotos that, obviously because of the nature of the AI generation, like I was mentioning before, because if you didn't know this, it's kind of like a fusion, kind of original OG AI generation collection. And I don't know if because they AI generated them, but then there was probably some, they maybe edited it a little bit, but I don't know. I'd have to ask the OG Sproto Gremlin holders, kind of like the actual, like the full on origin of how these were created. Because I know they were AI generated, but then maybe they went in and kind of, you know, edited a little bit. But yeah, like I asked someone, and I asked people in the Telegram, I was like, because they were like, what are you doing with that Harry Pepe on? Just put the Sproto on. I was like, well, I don't own one yet. I want to get one, but they were like, dude, just right click and save. It's okay. So I had been eyeing this one for a little bit. I really like the style of it. It's got spectacles. It kind of just like I don't know. It kind of looks like a Sproto version of me. And there's a few other ones that I'm really gravitating towards as well. And it was this guy. He doesn't have spectacles, but I love the way that he stands. And he's got really nice joyful eyes and that little top hat. But this one is priced pretty well. I think it's, you know, it's under 1 ETH. You know, it's 0.84. And you guys gotta remember the floor was not that long ago 4 ETH for these Sprotos. I think the Sprotos could be a 10, 20 ETH, you know, collection. It's very unique. I mean, there really is nothing like it. If you think about it in terms of like NFT art and culture art from the internet, there's nothing that looks like this. And when you see these things pop up in your timeline, you're like, whoa. You're like, whoa. So I love it. I absolutely love it. I really started to gravitate towards it a little bit, like more as the more that I started to see it. But yeah, so this, so which one do you think is better? Which one do you think's better? This one? Or this one, the one that I actually have as my profile picture. Which one? Which one, Bitcoin MLK? I think this one. I like this one because I mean, look, it literally it's with the arms up, really. Yeah. Leviosa. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. You're doing it all wrong. You're doing it all wrong. I know. That's what I'm saying. It's programmed. The Sonic Cat Girl's in the house. Let's go. Sonic Cat Girl said, it has the glasses just like you. It is programmed. Hold on. So see, there's a debate. See, this person thinks I need to delist it. Delist? What do you mean by delist? Like you want me to not have it as my profile picture? I don't understand. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to cause any trouble, you know. I want to buy this one, but the moment that if it ends up getting bought by someone, then I would have to respectfully take it, take the profile picture off. But it is. I thought someone did that though too. I thought someone bought it. I was like, no. I was like, I just put it as my profile picture and said I want to buy it. And I thought someone was trying to be funny, and they're like, but no. But yeah, so please don't buy this one unless you're buying it to send it to me. S. Rodriguez says, the whales pump and dump. Yep, they do. If you sell, they buy. And you make it harder for you to get back in. Just hold and stack if you can. Yep. You got to just remember that the market loves ranging Bitcoin. And Binance is always the culprit. You can see the range right here in the past 24 hours. They were like, boom, 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 boom. They're just liquidating the crap out of people. But like I said, it only lasts for so long because, as you can see, like I said, you know, in bull markets, we get these tear ups. Then we get consolidation. We get a little cool off. And then we get another tear up. get a little consolidation, and then I think we're coming up to the next little tear up, and this little gap fillage right here at 115 where we're experiencing is, I think, the next bounce level going up to 128,000. And then you can see the fibs for the next levels, or the overarching fib here, is all hitting around, or all around these levels. And so I don't see in the cards us going like back down to say like 109. You know, that would be I mean, you if you're a bear, you're like really hoping this happens. You would love for that to happen, for us to hit 109 and, you know, just ever, you know, get destroyed. We wouldn't be scared about that though. I mean, I think if that really truly happened, like, guys, let's be honest. If we went back down to 109,000, would you be worried? Or would you just double down and buy more? Because we do all have like kind of like a mental illness. Like some of us, we would see this and be like, yeah, and we were like, let's go. Because most likely if Bitcoin did that, the altcoins would get destroyed. You know, Bitcoin goes down 10%, and we'd probably get hit pretty hard. But it'd be a good buying opportunity. Let's see. Harry Conroy says, what do you think about what? I missed your comment. Let me see. Oh, I went up. Okay. Please tell me Solana and ETH won't dip any further. That is why I'm here. Awesome. Okay. Well, first, you need to look at the BTC ratios. Okay. So you need to look at the BTC ratios and these are the ones that I've put on the list, and there's more. Like you can pair a bunch of stuff, but I think you just keep it simple. Look at the ETH BTC ratio and put it on the weekly, and then you can look back previously in different markets. Like if, for instance, in 2019 and in 2020, this is where the ETH BTC ratio bottomed, was right here. And so now that we're in this market structure, in this cycle, it went to that same level and basically bottomed and went home right here. And the same thing has happened technically with ETH, the ETH pair, with just like the USD pair on even just looking at it like Bitstamp. This was the bottom right here in 2020 in 2022, and you can see here this $1,000 mark. Let's see, right there. Yeah, so like basically the bottom of 2023 to push us up to that close to what the all-time high was. This is where ETH just hit the bottom in 2025 in March. Was that 1400? That was the bottom. Like basically like that was the ETH bottom. So any more of us going up and continuing this trend, I think, is leading us up to these fib extensions, which people think is like outrageous or outlandish for the second largest cryptocurrency by market cap to not get to 10K. I'm like, how can you be so bearish? How can you be so bearish? So so ETH will chop, but the strength of ETH right now, it's just things are bleeding. Even other alts are going into Ethereum because people don't want to be sidelined on Ethereum, because then they'll feel really, really like they're not going to feel very smart. They're not going to feel very smart because they got convinced for 2-3 years to sell all your ETH into some whatever other shitcoin. And then now institutions are buying up that ETH and sidelining you. I'm not falling for it. So this is just, it's just that, like, so the writing's on the wall. So you're fine with ETH. You could buy ETH at 3,600. Buy it at 4K. I don't give a crap. It's going to go to 10K. And I say that with certainty, damn it. I'm gonna keep saying it with certainty, because I'm not gonna be one of those bozos on the timeline going, ETH is dead technology. And they just say stuff. They don't even know what they're saying. These people don't even know what they're saying. They're sitting on the toilet when they're saying this stuff, by the way. Just so you know. They're not in front of the computer screen like we are, looking at macro data and saying like, oh, okay, extrapolating from a point on the chart from where we had different market structure. And now we got institutions in. You're going to tell me I need to be bearish? Get off of my timeline. like all the way off. Okay, so point being, with ratios of BTC to Sol, now we're going to talk about Solana. So now Solana, you can see that we, on these particular ratios in the markets, in the bull market in 2021, you can see that we kind of bottomed around the 0.0007 ratio for Sol and BTC. And right here in 2022, you can see we kind of bottomed, but we hit some resistance. And also, if we pull a fib, probably from here, you can see where we have hit resistance at like the 618, the 382, and also, yeah. So that's okay. So now we're looking like we're establishing a little bit of support here, but we could also continue to go down and bleed back into Bitcoin right here to this point where we saw it bounce, and you can kind of see where we almost hit that. We were consolidating back down. We saw a little bit of a tick up, and recently, we've seen it's Solana moving. We saw the Solana ecosystem catch a little bit of a break. We saw on the weekly here that we finally started to get a little bit of a green. But it was just one weekly green candle for the ratio, and now you can see we wicked up past the 20 SMA on the band here, on the EMA ribbon. Or 20 EMA, sorry, not SMA. So we could potentially go bleed a little bit back into Bitcoin, and then finally we'll get a little bit of market, switch up. And then we can continue kind of going up from here. Because look at what happened and where Solana was when the ratio was up there. We were at close to all-time high. We were at all-time highs for Solana. So January this year, if we look at the Solana price in January, we were at like 300. What was it? 300 something? Yeah, we were at like $300. So now you can see the correlation between the ratios of Bitcoin being bullish or bearish as compared to what the USDT price is or what the USD chart is, But what's great is that that's a good opportunity to get because look, Sol is now back under $180. We were just pushing 200. We were just over 200. So what that shows me is that we're having some altcoins still in a good upward momentum in terms of the macro trend, but in the short term, we're going to have some bleed back into Bitcoin. And now we're seeing ETH. We're seeing most of the altcoins bleeding into Bitcoin and ETH, which is basically the top dogs still. So you have to make a choice. Do you want to just have more BTC and Ethereum and literally just have two coins and know that like institutions are loading up on these things and you can just be a part of that trend? The trend is your friend until the end, and this trend is not stopping anytime soon of institutions scooping these things up. There's not that much ETH to go around. We think there's just unlimited ETH, but like exchanges will run out of ETH and have a very low supply of ETH, and the same with Bitcoin. And what does that do? That causes a supply shock. And when the demand goes over and is more of a demand than what the supply is, then that is the nature of a supply and demand economy. And the pressure and it just starts to go. You can't stop it from that point. It's just that there will be so much momentum happening, and we want to make sure that we are on the right side of that momentum, because it's not good when you are holding stuff that you are convinced to hold And you didn't probably really feel good, very good about it to begin with. And then all the while, these things that were old legacy stuff that you got convinced was old and legacy and you need to pay attention to it. And by the way, only 4 or 5 years old. And people that bought Amazon stock way back, now look at it. Now look at the companies that people invested in way back, knowing that they were, at least having an intuition that they were going to be dominating every sector. Because there were people that made trades like that, epic trades. This is how you have to think about the cryptocurrency markets. It's an attention-based economy. Some are trying to get your attention to extract all your money, and guess what they're buying with their money and the profits? The coins that you should have been buying. Perfect example, Thread Guy on the timeline doesn't talk about Bitcoin a single fucking time for years. And just shilling all these coins and whatever and acting like he doesn't know that, he has insider information or got an early, allocation of supply and then disappears from the timeline, changes his profile picture to a black background, doesn't say a word, and then comes back and all of a sudden is a Bitcoin maxi and has thousands and thousands of dollars to be able to buy Bitcoin full port. Where did he get the money? What are we talking about here? So it's just like, come on. Am I the only one that sees that for what it is? That's exactly what is happening here. So instead of me being like that, I'm telling you the real what. Just focus on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Oh, sorry, that's not enough alpha for you? It's like, give me a freaking break. Like, what? You can tell that this just frustrates me. Because these people just have no accountability. None. Am I crazy am I the only one that feels like this? I feel like I'm screaming to myself here. Shout out to everyone who's here. All right, we're going to make sure you follow me at Dano Crypto 904. We are getting close to having 2,000 followers. 2,000 lucky followers. And make sure you guys always repost this live stream and make sure you check out my nice little my nice animated thumbnails. No one's doing this. This is top of the game right here. This is how you get people's attention. Talk about attention economy. All right, and we're grinding on the TikTok. We thought we would never make a TikTok. Every time I tried to download the TikTok app in the past, immediately when I pulled it up, I would close it because it would be some just something and someone dancing and doing some TikTok dance, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm like, get off, whoa, whoa. Or it's like it's where you need to be in a place where your phone doesn't need to be going off, and I'm like, yeah, I can't have TikTok on my phone. But now I have it back on my phone, and I don't actually really open it too much to actually watch anyone else's stuff. But besides Morad, I've been trying to catch up with Morad on TikTok because he's the one that's really putting in the work, grinding on TikTok, and I think he's on to something. He understands that there's a certain market that is on TikTok. There's a whole niche of people that are interested in finance and crypto or gaming and the memes and whatever that they're on TikTok. TikTok is very popular, and a friend of mine. Remember him telling me at Karate Combat in Nashville, and he was like, "Bro, you gotta get on the TikTok." He's like, "You have to just push that as hard as you can." And I was like, really, dude? I was like, I don't want to. And he was like, dude, you need to. And so it took me a little bit. I finally listened, and I think you might be onto something when you're really posting shorts content. And like, for example, I'll show you guys. I like showing you this stuff because we could talk about crypto all day. I mean, we could talk about crypto all day, but really, another actual topic that I like discussing is metrics for content and how to like act and how to like figure out this algorithm. And for some people, I feel like you can get lucky. You get hit and pushed in the algorithm. They don't ban your channel. They don't, you don't get all these strikes and stuff like that, and you can kind of have an easy way through. But then there's the type where you're gonna hit some momentum, and then you're just gonna hit walls, and then potentially you could have your channel get banned for no apparent reason. And that will definitely put a damper in any type of like mega momentum that you would have had or being put in the search. Like, I think YouTube just is like kind of like a nightmare for that. But thank the Lord that the Sprotos are coming in hot on the X algorithm, because we've had, average over 60 people or more watching on X. So that's really awesome, because this is kind of just like listening to a podcast, if you will, but you can also watch it as well. So, but what I want to show you is the analytics for the shorts. So the analytics for the shorts has been pretty crazy. Like, for the past 28 days, so just this month, it's not a lot of subscribers, but I got 7 extra subscribers just the past 28 days just from the shorts. So when the shorts pop up, people choose to, hit the like button or subscribe on the short. But 21,000 views, and then over the past 7 days, got an extra subscriber, 20 likes, 3.2 thousand views, and then over the past 90 days, you can act. And then this is where it gets interesting, because if you do it enough and you grind it and you say, all right, I'm going to post 5 shorts a day, 10 shorts a day, whatever it is, or you can schedule them out and get really dialed in. So, okay, what times do people normally get on their phone, or what times are people normally watching on certain days? And you can even go as far as, I'm going to post right on those days, right on those moments, and schedule it and make it like very robotic and calculated. Or you can just go the viral way, where you just post 10 a day, and just like one of them might hit, because it's the volume that's going out. And also it has, it has quality, but quality and volume, and then you can get exposure that way. But yeah, the 90 days is where I'm like, okay, I'm seeing something here. An extra 60,000 views. Engaged views was 20,000 out of those 60. So almost halfway there of engagement through what I posted. 427 likes, and this is just on shorts, and an extra 25 subscribers. So if I continue doing this and I get these ratios and percentages from, say, 31% of people staying to watch up to 50% of those people, so at least half of the people that see my head pop up on screen, they're interested. I would be totally happy with that. I'm still even happy that 31% are actually, staying and engaging and watching these shorts. And some of these shorts getting up as close to like 2,000 views per short. So so if you're doing content, or you're wanting to figure out how to also get more traffic into your long form content, which is what I'm doing right now, full long form live streams, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys got to be tuning in, because this is going to be one of the most popular live streams in crypto and crypto history, my friends. I was saying it right here. You got to believe in yourself. You got to be delusional. And if you're not going to cheer yourself on, who the hell will? Who the hell will? Because no one's coming to save you. No one's coming to save you. It's you. It's always been the battle between you v you. You think it's PvP? No, it's you v you. It's you versus anti-you. It's always been that way. Once you realize that, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. So like I've said before, we're here to take over. And then that's that. You can be along for the ride or not. You can be like Jerome Powell, acting like the boss finally came in after months and months of, or years and years of the boss just being away, and you were able to do whatever you wanted. And then the boss comes back and you're like, son of a bitch. I'm like, I don't, okay, fine. Like, he looked so miserable. Like, Jerome Powell, that was his worst nightmare. That was his worst nightmare. That's so funny. That is too good. All right, I remind you guys that MoonPay has an app, and it's a really nice app. And if you've ever used MoonPay before, at any point, you'll be able to see your history of transactions. I would bet you guys have had to have used MoonPay before. Shout out to MoonPay. They're following us. They're very supportive. And we've used them for a long time. We've used them since 2021 to be a on-ramp to the crypto universe. So we just want to give a shout out and show our appreciation for MoonPay. But there's one issue. When I typed in Bitcoin on the search on the app, I didn't see the ticker Bitcoin. I did not see the ticker Bitcoin. So I'm gonna need you guys to do me a favor. Okay. Now, this is where community is the best and is very important. And this is where you have to be able to use the power of the community to make things happen. There's 90 people watching right now on X, and hopefully those are real people. You're not bots. And I'm going to need you to get on this post, and I'm going to need you to ask MoonPay why they do not have the ticker listed. And we need to change this immediately so then we can not have people be confused, because they're going to type in Bitcoin and these two are going to pop up, and the people's Bitcoin is not in this list. So we need to make sure that we don't confuse the community. People have a right to know that there's a people's Bitcoin. So that's just what is happening. Also, I do want to bring some attention back to this particular video. The Polymarket CEO, Shane Copeland, is a wizard. And I think the thing that is to take away from this video is the fact that he understands that the matrix is real and predictive programming and also outcomes are a thing. And actually, when you see the prediction percentage markets happening, the freaking CIA and the FBI and government agencies are actually using prediction markets and things like Polymarket to be able to actually see what is going to happen. That is freaking wild. If you think about that in terms of the global scope of prediction markets and actually being able to see the percentage of how certain events are going to happen, whatever it may be, there's something there. There's something deep there that you could analyze to the point of going down a massive rabbit hole of what's happening here. So I just like, as well as it's bullish too, because Polymarket's back in the United States, and they acquisitioned and bought a futures derivatives exchange called QCX. So they're getting exposure into trying to service for their customers and the things that they're involved with to be kind of possibly like a kind of a one-stop thing of doing trading, prediction markets, and also being able to, maybe, off and on ramp liquidity from, say, Polymarket or whatever it is to this QCX, or I don't know, something like that. But either way, they're building up their empire there. And welcome back to the United States. So, and then I wanted to play this clip of Trump kind of like right in front of Powell. And this is the way that Trump is pressuring Powell, kind of like in publicly pressuring him and trying to embarrass him. And you can see it right here.
What would you do with a project manager? As a real estate developer, what would you do with a project manager who would be over budget?
Generally speaking, what would I do? I'd fire him.
Do you think this issue, Mr. President,
as a real estate developer.
So the reporter asked, what would you normally do with this situation where a project developer has gone massively over budget, in this certain situation? He's like, well, I would fire him. So it's just and Trump just was like, he's like, that's what I want to say, right? Standing next to the guy that he's basically has been saying on Truth Social that he wants him gone and wants him fired, or he's calling him too late pal, saying that he's incompetent, that he's not smart. And I mean, dude, I mean, look, they do not like each other like that. Look at his face. That dude, this is like his worst nightmare. He's like, this is the worst. He's probably like, get me out of here.
Why? The reason why I wanted to see it was the overruns of the expenses. Wanted to figure out why.
Yeah. So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
Yeah, it just came out.
Our notes had it about 3.1 as well.
3.1,
3.2.
This came from us?
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added
our entire capital plan.
Yeah, you just added in a third building is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no,
including the
but
Martin building.
it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built 5 years ago. We finished Martin 5 years ago.
It's part of the overall work.
But it's
So,
not new.
So we're going to take a look. We're going to see what's happening, and it's got a long way. Do you expect any more additional cost overruns?
Don't expect them. We're ready for them, but we have a little bit of a reserve that we may use, but no, we don't. We expect to be finished in 2027. We're well along, as you can see.
Nice to take these off every once in a while when we're not under too much danger. So, any questions?
Mr. President.
Yeah, that was the clip that I mentioned in the beginning where he pulled out the paper and he was like, yeah, it's actually, but no, it's for another building. He was like, well, that's just part of the total cost. It's just fun. Yeah, it's just, man, they do not like each other. But this is for the first time ever that a president has been actually like this, pressuring the Fed. There's been a big separation between the Fed and whatever administration is in power at whatever point. But then you can see where there's discrepancies in this, though, because was there a lot of big separation from the Fed and the Biden administration? Not really, because a lot of the things that Powell is doing has been speculated and been under scrutiny to be very political because of the nature of how they were operating under the Biden administration. And then you can see how now that they're in this Trump administration that they're just tight, they're just holding on, they're tightening up, they're not budging. Why? We have to just figure it out.
The reason why I wanted to see it was
This is like hilarious. Yeah, someone in the comments said it was like watching an episode of The Office. Oh, yeah, that's good stuff. This is good stuff. Okay, so overall markets, kind of pretty in the red. We got Bitcoin down 2.8%. We got ETH down 2.3%. XRP down 5.6%. We got Solana 5.3%. BNB down 1.6%. And BNB doesn't get a lot of attention in terms of the actual token. But if you remember, CZ, old CZ, everyone's crypto champion, CZ. He's always like, let's keep building. Buy the dip. Let's keep building. So he holds 90% of his portfolio is in BNB. So he actually is more bullish on BNB than he is on the entire cryptocurrency markets. Like, he's bullish Bitcoin. He thinks Bitcoin is going to go to like $400,000 or $500,000 this particular cycle. That was his price call. Mine was like 250 or 350. I think 350 is probably like a good number. We'll probably hit 200 or between 150 and 200 this year, 100%. And I think going into quarter one, quarter two, as things are going to get a little interesting, and we can see where we're headed in that direction, and especially with the alts, that's going to be really interesting to see. But yeah, his portfolio is like 90% or 95% BNB, so he holds like billions of dollars in BNB token, and you can see that in terms of the chart on BNB, it's relatively stable. Where's BNB? I don't have it saved in here. The heck? Oh, I do. I just went past it. If we look at BNB on the weekly, actually, we were seeing that BNB actually was in a cup and handle pattern. So if you look at the weekly on BNB, we're currently in a cup and handle. It's not a beautiful cup. It's not like a full dip like we've seen with like Bitcoin or Solana. Solana's cup and handle has a big crack in it because of the nature of one of the the capitulation events that were pretty massive, and it got Solana got hit really hard. Hit a pretty nasty dip. Similar to this, it was like this. It was just like a crack in the cup. But if this is the case of the depth of the cup, when we've done this before, the measurements. Where's our measurements? Where's our price? Price range from the depth of the cup is right to the top is 195%. Okay, so 195% from the flag here, or from the handle, would bring us to a $1,500 BNB. Okay. Now we have to be prepared for this, a $1,500 BNB and also a $1,300 BNB. And it also probably lines up with the fib extension. So the first fib extension that I can't make this shit up. I can't make it up, guys. I mean, the Fibonacci extensions are crazy. A lot they're pretty wild. We'll get a first pump up to $968. So at the 1.618, we could see some resistance here. And then I think we'll probably, bing bong a little bit, and then we're going to hit up into that level right there. And that actually, if you think about it, in terms of a trend, it's about right. Yeah. So I would watch for BNB. BNB might be like a good low leverage play in terms of a coin that hasn't really seen as much volatility as the rest of the altcoin market. I remember a long time ago, Ivan said that if BNB is being sold off in mass and the whales are offloading BNB, then it's the bear market. If BNB is holding strong and they're just holding on, for dear life, then we are in upward momentum in the bull, because it's Binance. I mean, it's BNB. So they're still, the biggest exchange in the world and control a lot of liquidity. And so it could be a good market signal for you to kind of, signify, okay, bull market, bull run, banana zone, whatever you want to call it, and then the inevitable, kind of sell off and cool off. But like I said, and like a lot of people have been saying, the market cycle could be potentially broken, where normally we were judging off of 4-year cycles, and we could be going into a 10-year cycle with Bitcoin and crypto, and especially now that things like the meme coins like Dogecoin, like legacy meme coins like Doge, are establishing themselves in a 7-year, 10-year cycle now against Bitcoin. This is how the market is, how you have to look at it in a broader perspective. Do you understand what I'm saying? I keep passing Doge. I want to pull up Doge. I keep going right past it. My eyes. Where is it? 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 There it is. Doge is just like it's just going to be establishing itself in a 7-year cycle. From 2019, you got different cycles. This was that first banana zone run up cycle in 2020. You got that consolidation, and then I see in this chart, if you look at this chart, I'm gonna see. I'm pretty confident we're gonna see this. We could see this, and people don't believe it, but this is literally what the 10-year cycle on Doge looks like. and people don't want to believe it, but it's like it's not impossible. You don't think Doge couldn't get to $5? It's possible. It's the most ironic, funniest outcome that a meme coin like Doge would be valued at, $100 billion. Because at this point, if it did that, it would be worth $100 billion or $150 billion. And the RSI here and the momentum would be pretty on point. But I think a fair case, that's mega bullish moon boy territory. But I think a very good conservative case is that we would actually hit at $2.20. That's my call for the end of this year for Dogecoin, is that we just break into, and possibly quarter one of next year, quarter one, quarter two. But hey, I'll just go ahead and say it. I think we could hit a $2 Doge this year. You heard it here first, my friends. You heard it here first. But yeah, altcoins that are performing pretty well on the weekly right now is CFX, Tezos, Pingu. I have no idea what this coin is. We have ENA, 43%, Athena. We're way more familiar with that one. We've Saros. I have no idea what Soros is. It makes me think of Soros. I have no idea what that is. I'm just now seeing this. On the daily, got pumped down 13%, Fartcoin down 9%, Jasmy down 5%, Pepe down 6%, Doge down 6%, Pingu hit a 10%, but if you think about it, on the weekly, it's been up 10%. On the monthly, it's been up 278%. So for it to be down on the daily 10%, it's kind of expected. It's kind of expected, so... And if you want to see these quick crypto bubbles, also if you want to check out the merch that I have on my website, just go to danocrypto.com, and you can also watch the ticker go to the moon and break out of the matrix in real time. And also, this looks really cool on the mobile website. So if you just go on your phone, type in danocrypto.com, and also you can check out my music as well. If you didn't know, I have a couple albums you can check out. And you can jam these things directly on your phone with the power of Bandcamp. So check that out. And also Spotify. We got the Spotify. These are our top tracks right here that Spotify thinks you should listen to. So check that out. Also, shout out to the people that are musicians and artists that are also crypto nerds. We'll give a shout out to Marty Party, because Marty Party... really awesome TA. I love his perspective. He's actually live right now. We'd hope to get him on the channel one day. It'd be really cool, because I'd love to just pick his brain about a bunch of stuff. And we would be talking heavily about the manipulation and wash trading that's been happening with Binance. That would be a big topic of discussion. Love to talk about that and just let him go. So yeah, if you have any connection with Marty Party, please raid his X account and tell him that you would like to see him on my show. All right, so yeah, he actually is a music producer as well, and was making music. He's got a bunch of was making music for artists and making his own stuff. So Yeah, so I think we'd have to actually have a pretty good live stream and conversation. We'd be talking about all kinds of stuff. But yeah, so bullish on the music artists that are in crypto. All right, so let's see. See, the Sprotos are so nice. They always are coming in hot. They repost the live stream. See all these Sprotos? They just come out of the woodwork. That's why I love the Ticker Bitcoin community. They're very supportive. I'm going to say it every stream. We love the support. We really want to get a Sproto. If you don't have a Sproto, I suggest you get one. It's probably going to be one of the more popular NFT collections when we get into the euphoric phase of celebrities spending millions of dollars on NFTs. And just imagine that they start catching wind on these little blue Sproto guys, and then, you can't even get a dang Sproto for less than 15 ETH. So that could be potentially coming down the line for these little cheeky Sprotos, and this is exactly why I want to purchase one or two of them, because one, I probably won't sell. I'll just have it as my guy here, and then I'll have one that would, I'd probably sell. Because you don't want to be the crypto punk person or the Bored Ape person where they're like, I got an offer for millions of dollars and I didn't sell it, and now the NFT went into a bear market for 3-4 years, and I missed the opportunity to sell a freaking an ape with bunny ears for like $1.2 million. Yeah. That's why you buy a few of the NFTs, because you're probably going to want to keep one, but then when the opportunity comes where you could make a decent profit on it, hey, that's what the game's all about. I mean, don't let any NFT collectors tell you otherwise, because that would be absolutely false. That's why when most NFT people, they go and buy a collection, they buy like 4 of them, is because they probably want to keep one for, because they actually do like it, and then they're going to sell a couple. Especially if they were airdropped, some of them. So, yeah, I would probably this is what I would do. I'd probably buy this one and this one. I love those. I love these two. Those are the ones that I've gravitated towards the most. And there was what was the other one? I think it might have been this one, because it had the glossy eyes. There's not a lot that have like a good glossy eye feature. And then also this one has an amulet. It has a little amulet. Did I say amulet? What did I just say? Amulet? The hell? Amulet. Yeah. This one's cool, but it looks sad. It looks a little sad. And also the arms aren't fully the arms is kind of like, it's like, he's like doing this. Like the funky chicken. So I don't I kind of like them, but then I don't, But this was the other one. This was the other one, but it's not as clean. It's not as clean, but this one's like drinking tea. This one's like, It's like, it's got the nice smile. It's got the spectacles. As you can see, this is the spectacle line. And it's got like a bow. Instead of it having an amulet, it's got like a bow tie. It's got like kind of like a bow tie. But I would go for this one, but it's a little pricey. It's a little. I would say it's a little. 1.8 ETH. I want to get 2 that are underneath, because then my wife won't question my entire existence as a human being. So, So 0.84, but she understands. She understands a little bit. I told her, it's like I gave her the example of how like the crypto punks and all the the really popular NFT collections were just like going for thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And if you can manage to kind of scoop up some of these things, it's like buying, the popular top culture art stuff on the internet. Like if you were to be buying special edition, one of a kind, whatever it may be in the physical world, same thing. Just like Pokemon cards, it's like value is being based off of the rarity and also just the demand for specific things. At a point in the market, there was high demand for these freaking JPEGs. So it was undeniable. Celebrities were jumping on board, and you got to remember, even way back before when NFTs weren't even even that popular, Paris Hilton was releasing NFTs and talking about crypto and stuff like that on Tron, if you remember. This was back in 2021. So it all kind of is gonna come in waves, it comes in waves. It's just like the kids now that are 20 are discovering Creed and Nickelback, and they love it. They love it. It's like it's all the butt rock bands, you could call them butt rock bands, like Buck Cherry and whatever, like all that stuff. Like the 20-year-olds right now, that's like that they're seeing that as classic rock. So it's all coming back. As Celine Dion would say, it's all coming back to me now. Holy crap. I told you guys, this is the most entertaining live stream in all of live streams. Only here. But only 3 people on YouTube get to experience it. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's your loss. It's your loss. You can go to other channels where they're trying to sell you a private group or something like that, but I'll sing Celine Dion to you. It's your choice. It's all your choice, my friends. But see, the X people understand. See, the X people understand. They understand the memo. They get the plot. But the retail people are just the overarching, community on YouTube. I don't know what's going on. But no, I really, honestly, truly, if I want to be honest, like I don't really, there could be one person, I don't care. Because back in the day, I remember live streaming, and there was I think half of a person watching, if that was even possible. It said 0.5 concurrent viewers. So hey, if you're watching on YouTube, you're a super soldier. You're a super soldier. Somehow, you were able to be notified that I was live, because there's some kind of shadow ban happening on this channel on YouTube for some reason. They don't want me to get too big, because I would be too entertaining for these people. I would just be too much. It's like I talk about the ticker Bitcoin. I tell you just to go look at Bitcoin and ETH. I tell you to go macro. I even tell you about all the meme coins. I only hold a few of them, but I even recognize that you could be a Bobo. You could be a Bobo person. You could be a Bog person. You could be whatever. You could be whatever. And I would just tell you, you know what? I hope you do well, but just know that it could also go to zero, and that's the risk you have to take. That's the risk you have to take. You could be bullish Vine coin. But I digress. All right, guys. I don't think there's anything else we need to cover. I think we're good. Unless there's anything else pressing you guys think I need to talk about. Let's see real quick, we'll just see what Grok said. We'll see what Grok had to say. I asked what the best posts on crypto were for today. Let's see. Let's go to the 25 posts. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it. I think that's about it. It's nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. We just had, we had the oh, wait a second. Solana's Web3 Pokemon cards. Solana apps are bringing Pokemon cards to Web3 via NFT gotchas. What? While FTX blocks Chinese creditors from selling claims on Backpack. This post reflects the intersection of gaming NFTs. What? Where is that post? I need to find this. What's going on here? Solana, okay. Solana apps launch Pokemon cards into Web3 with NFT gotchas. FTX halts Chinese creditors as they offload claims on backpack, and more. Did some Pokemon gotcha yesterday and got this beauty for 250. Hold on, what the heck? Okay, here it is. Pokemon-themed Ponzi game launches on Solana. Ponzimon? What the... I don't know what the heck that is. Interesting. Pokemon is coming. There's a bunch in the works. And an interview. Sui, managing director, Web3. Okay, wait a second. Okay, yeah.
What's the deal?
Yeah.
Announced already, that.
Yeah, I mean, we have Pokemon that's coming. There's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's
official game or what's the deal?
There's a bunch there.
Oh yeah.
There's a whole bunch of things that are, that are in the works.
Announced already, that.
Okay. All right. This is going to be very interesting. So we talked about this before. This was coming down. This was like a rumor that Sui was going to be because there was a third party game company that is affiliated with Pokemon that was doing something with Sui. So there was like name mentions and name drops, and the market was like all immediately took it as like, a crumb that Pokemon was going to be partnering up specifically with Sui. Okay, remember now Sui had a convention where they've displayed a lot of their ecosystem for gaming because they have the Sui store. I think it's called the Sui Play Store, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, and then the game device is called the S. I think it's called this. Oh gosh, I can't remember. I can't remember right off the top of my head. But they have a like a Steam Deck like play device that you can access their store, and then there's going to be all this Pokemon incorporation with Sui. So we've charted Sui before. We're bullish Sui. Definitely one of those top contenders in terms of if you're looking at this, this weekly chart, this weekly trend. I mean, it looks pretty freaking good. We said, bullish case scenarios. We just touched the trend, and it's measured pretty simple measured trend. From what it's done over its existence. It's pretty textbook. I mean, we got same distance right here, breaking structure right here. Created this trading channel, and you just go to the next level, and the obvious next level would be up to between $10 and $12. And then if you do the Fibonacci extension, this lines up literally perfect in that area. First hitting the 1618 would be that first resistance level, I think, hitting at $8, but really it's just breaking through that 786, which is pretty much the resistance that was hit before, close to $5 in January. So if you see this as a Wyckoff accumulation and a range, then this is what we'd be hitting up into that first level between the 786 and the 618, which is right middle ground, $6.56 for Sui. So for all you TA people out there, if you're wanting to get a kind of this is your forecast on Sui, is your bullish case scenario hitting up into breaking the 786 with strength, and then hitting an all-time high of $6.54. First 1618 being the $8.19. Momentum continues, and we hit that going into, I think, October of this year. And this would line up with all of the forecasting that we've been doing with Bitcoin and Ethereum going into October, because it has a lot of indicators and leading indicators. A lot, the biggest leading indicator of all of this momentum of risk on was gold. You know, it really was. You know, if you look at the stock market, you look at how hard commodities were acting and how the dollar was going down, this was all signaling for a long time that risk was coming back on and that we have still a lot more room to grow. And it was represented by the de-dollarization, strength of the dollar going down. We have, we have the stock market breaking new all-time highs. And from the bottom of where we were saying, everyone was saying, it's doom and gloom. We're going to go back to, 50K. It's good. We're in a bear market. That was the top. Those people don't know what they're talking about. Unfollow them immediately and don't ever go back to their channel or follow them ever on anything on social media ever again. And start following people that have smaller followings and actually are on these charts and they don't just say a bunch of crap. I look at these charts every freaking day. And my TA has been pretty damn top notch and solid. And it's all because I'm going off of weekly macro trends and looking at the nature of leading indicators from big money. But all these people that have thousands of followers are going off of leading indicators of 20-year-olds that have no idea, that are not even looking at the stock market. They're not even looking where the big money is going. They're not looking at the nature of the inflows of the ETFs. They're looking at PP poo poo coin. I don't know how many times I got to remind you guys this, that it is dangerous to be following certain people that they just say stuff. They have nothing to back it up. No research, no data, no prior information to go off of besides just saying stuff. So, with that being said, I think it's really important for you guys to look at the macro data here. Look at the macro for everything, and you'll start to get a bigger picture of what is happening here. And you'll start to dial in and start to really understand that we are still massively early. We're still massively early, and you are in the right place at the right time. Ricky versus the world. What's going on, Ricky versus the world? It says, I love Kraken's new Bitcoin commercial. Let's go find it. Let's find it. Let's find it. We'll play it. Shout out to Kraken for being bullish ticker Bitcoin. Is this it? This is from, oh no, this is from 2024. Kraken Bitcoin commercial. You would think it would pop up. Maybe I just need to go to Kraken. Where did you see it? Did you see it on X? Where did you see it? On YouTube? Oh, it plays before some of your YouTube vids. Oh, like as an ad. Okay. Oh, then I'd probably have to just go to their actual. Let me see if they're. Does Kraken have an official? Do they have an official YouTube? I know if I type in Kraken on YouTube, it's not gonna. Kraken trading. Yeah, maybe they're just running ads. They're just running ads. Maybe. I'd like to check it out, but But yeah, just as a reminder, guys, we didn't do any shilling. We didn't do very much shilling, but we do appreciate every single one of you guys coming in, hitting the like button, interacting, chatting, and I just want to and make Ricky versus the world. Did you subscribe? Well, I guess you're chatting in here, so you had to hit the subscribe button to be able to chat. So welcome to the Dojo crew. These are the things that I like to promote. I don't promote very much, so I have OURBIT and PHEMEX. So PHEMEX right now, really amazing exclusive bonus sign-up deals. Specifically with my link, you will get extra bonuses, and most likely PHEMEX will have all the coins that you like. They'll have all the meme coins. They'll have your blue chip tokens, new launches. You can do some on-chain trading. You can kind of see, you can do futures, you can do spot. There's a whole learn section where they have an academy. There's all the promotions. They do trading competitions and stuff like that. But why I promote PHEMEX, as well as OURBIT, PHEMEX has inverse perpetuals. So you can use your Bitcoin or you can use your whatever as collateral if you wanted to. So it's just kind of like an extra service. So I appreciate that type of service to have, because if, say, you're someone who's a Solana whale and you want to have a little bit of exposure, use your Solana as collateral, you can do so to put in an inverse perpetual. Like, for instance, right here, Coin M, and you can use your link ADA SUI, like we were just talking about. Say you're bullish SUI, you think it is going to go to $10. Well, you could be using your SUI to then get more SUI. It's not guaranteed. You got to have risk management, because you could also then lose your SUI or your SOL or your ETH or your XRP. I don't want you to lose your SOL. But yeah. So that's how you can do that. But yeah, check out these links in the description. It's the best way that you could directly support the channel. We don't have any paid telegrams or Patreons or anything like that. All I ask is that you just, if you're wanting to trade or maybe do a little, in and out, spot buying, whatever, testing out the markets and testing out these services, won't you consider using my links to do so? And then if you want to download the big boys like crypto.com or Coinbase, you want to want to get familiar with those as well, and also use a crypto debit card, I would recommend crypto.com. And you can see I have a link in the description here with a code, and you can get some free Crow and BTC by making deposits. And honestly, in terms of support and usability, in terms of the crypto debit cards, this I like. I've used it probably the most and consistently out of any crypto debit card product. That's a fact. That is, I wish I could get paid to say it, but I don't get paid to say it yet. But crypto.com, please, I'm coming for you. I've probably been the most bullish crypto YouTuber on crypto.com consistently, even through the bear market. I mean, I was making videos when it was boring. So check out crypto.com. They've been pretty bullish. They're adding all kinds of stuff, like we said, with the sports betting and prediction markets and stocks, and just being able to just use this thing as your bank account. But I want to caveat this with something that is also a very important lesson that you need to learn in crypto, is that we love exchanges. Look, hey, shout out to all the exchanges. Thank you for doing what you do. But the best service that an exchange can have is the withdraw button. Make sure you do that. Make sure you know that you can that you can send your crypto out into your wallet, into your phone, on your own wallet that you own the keys to, because you can't marry the exchange. And because guess what? If your coins are on there, they own them. You do not own them. You do not own them. 100% you don't own them. That, like, no ownership. Just as a reminder, this is with every exchange. Every single exchange. I don't care how much you like it. You need to know that you don't own it. So you are making a choice if you keep your crypto on there and something bad happens, and because things happen. Look what happened in 2022 and 2023. Massive capitulations of BlockFi, Celsius, Voyager, FTX. Go down the freaking list. People got rugged hard. And now they're just now getting back some of their money. Some of them not at all. Okay? So it is very important that you have a strategy and a risk management strategy and an allocation of your assets, and don't have them all in one basket. You need to have it spread. And especially in your own stuff, like your own stuff. Because that's the point. That's the point. Sovereignty. You have to learn this. It's a hard lesson to learn, but if you got burned in 2022, then you feel just like I do. And you have to be diligent. You have to be safe. It's the best advice I can give you as a crypto person, or as someone who, or for someone who's coming in new. We're gonna be doing a lot of content actually on these very topics and in how to have risk management. We're gonna do a whole video on risk management. We're gonna do a whole video on how to download a wallet. You know, all this basic stuff that we think, you know, that some people think that retail doesn't need. No, retail needs to know this. Like the people coming into crypto, the basics, just the basics. So just watch out for some content that's gonna be coming up here in the next couple weeks of just the basics. You'd be surprised that you've been in crypto as long as you have, and you kind of forgot about the basics. You got to go back to the basics. So let's do it, my friends. Let's have some fun. Let's make some money. Let's get our strategy in order. Let's have a plan, and yeah, let's dominate, because I think we're in the best place right now in terms of a financial economy and something that we could really lock in on. It feels good. It feels right. We've always explained this in our live streams that, you know, there's a reason why we're doing this. There's a reason why you're here and you feel something, and we're going to get the most out of it. We're going to get the most out of it. So thank you again. Thank you to everyone who's been tuning in. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all the people that have been watching on X recently. Like, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you to the YouTube community. Thank you to the Twitch community. Thank you to everyone who has been in here chatting, being supportive, keeping me on my toes. And I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Hope you have a good weekend. We'll see how this weekend shakes out. We're going to have possibly a little bit, some volatility, some healthy volatility. But if anything, I think we could see a pretty decent bounce on Bitcoin going into this gap portion where we mentioned in the price, and just we'll leave you with this little TA before we end, is just like we were saying about the Fibonacci extension, and also just this going in this particular direction here. You can see that line that we marked almost got hit, and we're seeing that could have been the bounce point. So I said, look, purple box, set some limit orders in this purple box, and you could be potentially pulling the limit orders for the next breakup to all-time highs, my friends, which is $128,000 per Bitcoin. All right, well, have a good weekend, and I will see you guys on the next live stream, which will be starting Monday. Peace out.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworker you're quitting because Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter Obama Sonic 10 and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
hposni.com.
Hey everyone. I just want to show you a really quick metric that I found fascinating. So 41% of the people that have been watching this channel and actually liking the channel and the content have not subscribed. 41% of you, but I will say 58% of you subscribed. Amazing. You guys are doing awesome. But I want to say that the people that are not subscribed yet, please, won't you consider subscribing to the channel and joining the Dojo crew, where we are educating ourselves. We're in the markets every single day. We're live streaming Monday through Friday, and we're also posting content on a daily basis that is keeping up with these cryptocurrency markets. And this is where the money is flowing right now, guys. So if you want to get these updates and you want to be ahead of the game, I suggest you start subscribing and dinging the bell to be notified whenever I go live and post content, because you do not want to miss it.